On today's special episode of Homeworthy, we're bringing you inside 10 dreamy kids' rooms handpicked by our editors. From moody teen bedrooms to the most adorable nurseries, these beautifully designed spaces are the perfect inspiration for bringing color and personality into your children's bedrooms. Enjoy! You're watching Homeworthy, where we believe every home has a story. Be sure to visit homeworthy.com to discover amazing furniture, art, accessories, and more, all handpicked by our editors to help transform your house into a home. All of the items are inspired by the episodes you see here on Homeworthy. Enjoy!
This is my middle son Samuel's bedroom, and as you can tell, he is my dinosaur lover. He loves everything about dinosaurs. He knows how when they were in existence, he knows the names of all of them, and so I wanted to give him a special place to have all of his dinosaurs on display so that he can get them down and play with them, but also these are his treasures. So we designed these sturdy white shelves so he was able to line up all of his dinosaurs, and he says they're just his favorite things in his room. So here in Samuel's room, not only does he just love dinosaurs, he loves all animals. So we've got animals everywhere. We've got, his stuffed animals, we've got Georgia bulldogs, we've got snakes on the bed. But one of my other favorite pieces of art in the house is this beautiful commission that my friend Elaine Burge did of his favorite dinosaur, which is an Allosaurus. And I think she did such a great job. She was so fun and cute. She said she'd never painted a dinosaur before, but I think she did a great job. And he absolutely loves it. Welcome to John Reese's nursery. One of the sweetest rooms that we have in the house. It was not on our original plan with our architect, but when I found out that he was on the way, we were able to shift a little bit of our roof line and add this little cozy room for him that really is just so sweet and special. This bed was also for Henry and Samuel, and I'm so glad that I kept it because it just means a lot to us. And the glider was also one that we used with the two of them. And so I love that he has a little bit of that history here in this room. But we also, did some blackout drapery in here so that he can sleep really well at night. And I chose a classic ticking stripe from Schumacher with this fun little pom-pom trim. And I think it just looks very sweet and whimsical for John Reese.
I'm going to quickly show you my son's room because it's a work in progress, but he's just moved into this room. We're just decorating it for him. And he organized and picked out all the shelves. He decided he wanted these shelves to show his shoes. You can see how neat and tidy he is. Everything's very organized. And he started doing some drawings of shoes. Here are his shoe cleaning kits. Like, it doesn't end with the shoes. So anyway, he is so thrilled to have this space and to have it be his own. And I'm so happy that he's decorating it how he wants it.
I know when people think of nursery, it's soft and, kind of kiddish, and I really wanted it to be a space that felt kiddish, but also a little sophistication. So this was a great opportunity for us to add some molding. I knew right away that I wanted it to be a blush molding. And in deciding on what we wanted to do with the walls, I didn't want to be locked into wallpaper that she ultimately might decide I don't know, when her toddler years, and has lots of opinions, which she's already getting there, that she hated them. So I chose to go with the decal and then go with the neutral wall color. I found a really great affordable rug. I believe this is from Overstock, that had just a little bit of pattern in it. It's really cozy. This is like one of our, not even just Quincy, like we will come in here and like send emails and hang out in this glider. We actually spend a lot of time in this room. I wanted to really make it feel like a space, like I said, that felt, you know, a little bit of sophistication, but also childlike. I lucked up and found someone on Facebook Marketplace that refurbishes vintage pieces. So this is actually a piece from the 70s that this really awesome woman, she paints, she redoes all the hardware, does all the staining, and it really ended up being a great find. And this was also during the time of when lead times were crazy with furniture. So I think it started, we were actually like had purchased another piece, and it was just like getting pushed back and pushed back. And I like to call this one a happy accident, because this ended up, you know, kind of, we saw it and immediately loved it and were able to get it instantly. So I really wanted to do a funky chandelier. I love a mantis chandelier, and I was like thinking about the perfect opportunity to do it in our home, and I felt like Quincy's nursery was just the perfect spot for it. And so I married that with a dark ceiling. So this is actually like a burgundy kind of wine colored ceiling. And I like that because we have, with the slatted ceilings, we actually kind of have the room to play because the ceilings feel so high. And I thought that the dark would kind of calm Quincy when she's in her nursery. And honestly, it all just, the colors really just worked well together. Here we just have all of her books and, you know, all of her stuffed animals and things that she can easily just go grab and pull off as she sees fit. And then this is our little bedtime area. So we'll sit here, we'll read books. Back in the thick of things, newborn, this thing would recline and you could really just sleep here and get cozy. And this is also another really fun piece in the room. This is a crib from Nestic. I love their pieces. I've actually done some work with them, and I started with this piece, and I feel like the relationship sort of grew from there. But I love their cribs. I love that they can transition. So this actually started as a mini crib, and then transitioned to where we're at now, and it'll go into a toddler bed. And you're really able to kind of like customize the color and the personality. So yeah, we really, really love this. And then I just did some simple art, and I just love the black and white on the black and white, and just hopefully reminding Quincy that she's a queen and that she can do all things. So really just simple, bold statement, and very clean. The last thing I think in this space is this was actually a gift from a friend of mine who is a designer in New York. Randomly commented on a post that I saw. He had one in a different color, and I was like, oh my God, I absolutely love that. What is that? Like, how? And so he sent it to me as a gift, and it's become something that, like, you know, Dilla will hang out on, or we'll kick our feet up. And now I feel like Quincy even like kind of crawls over it and uses that as kind of like a toy in the room. So it really is just kind of grown with us in the space.
Continuing upstairs, we have my kids' rooms. This is my son's room. This wallpaper and drapery fabric is actually the latest additions to my textile company. We named this wallpaper pattern Hecho en Tejas, and you can see all of the different little animal creatures in it. We have a horse and armadillo, a javelina family, and some armadillos, and a windmill, and bluebonnets, and turkeys, and Indian paintbrushes, and big oak trees. And so this is kind of our nod to Texas. And then his drapery fabric is also part of our textile collection that's called Fonte Italiano, and it's kind of an abstract camouflage in all different shades of blues, and we thought the two paired really well together. His room, actually, we had all of the artwork pieces before we had the wallpaper and fabrics figured out this is an old school map that was originally on the roll that you think of, like pulling down a map from an old classroom, and we took it off the roll and framed it. This was a map of Texas here, and then a little Willie Nelson poster that my husband had when we were dating, and I thought that it would be cute to add to a boys' room. And so we actually had all of this all together before we ever did anything else in the room. So it was kind of a work backwards scenario, and then the rest just came to be. Now we're headed to my daughter's room, but we'll stop at their bathroom on the way. It was really tricky to create a Jack-and-Jill space that was not too boy or too girl, and I still wanted it to be really fun. So what we did was we have totally neutral tiles. It's really just a white palette and a very little amount of kind of crazy animal portrait wallpaper. And it's really fun. There's all kinds of little quirks in the paper. Like this cat has her little jar that says cookie safe, and we've got the dogs on the horses over here, and there's another one that's going to jail. And so it's just kind of a fun, really whimsical. This is a New York artist named Carly Beck, and it was just kind of a really fun way to make a boy and girl bathroom and still be youthful and kind of not take it too seriously. And if they ever want to change it, it's just a couple of rolls of wallpaper and the tile is already there, ready to go in a very neutral way. This is my girls' room here, and we have a pair of twin beds that I originally had in our old house, these headboards that were made into a day bed, and we split them apart and made them into a pair of twin beds. And then they have a little staircase over here going upstairs to a little loft that has another queen size bed up there, so we can really sleep a lot of people here, and there's a lot of space. And then we have a little reading nook under the stairs here, and it's just a really fun room. This is a Danish artist named Gitte Brandt, and she does all of these animals and on all this really kind of whimsical, fun way. And we had selected the elephant with the Indian parasol, and then she writes a saying in French on the bottom. And so in French, this reads, "Lottie, dance with me," which is really fun with the elephant, and just kind of a really cute, playful thing for a room. In this space, a lot of times people will ask, why do you really want to kind of take it this far in a children's space, or what if they mess it up, or what if they outgrow it? And I really kind of believe that if you give your kids beautiful rooms, that they will hopefully maybe love beautiful things and will take good care of it. My girls are harder on their friends taking care of their spaces than they are on each other, because they really like their room and they really want it to, kind of stay this way. But I also think that you have to not take yourself too seriously. And we have the conversation a lot of times with clients of, this is not going to be the last decision you're ever going to make. And I think that people think wallpaper is so committal and is so forever feeling. And it's not, and it's okay if you change it in 10 years or, 20 years. You had a really great time enjoying it for those years. And so I just kind of say, don't take yourself too seriously, and to pick the things that you want to enjoy and that you want to live with and that bring you happiness.
And this was my son Ross's room, which of course didn't look like this when he lived here. But we love, it was such a small room, and it was perfect for him. But we, always tried to make it work with it. We didn't have much room for furniture. And we stayed in a hotel one time in France that we were laughing. My husband actually walked in. He goes, "You got to be kidding me," because there was about 2 feet all the way around the bed. But they had these built-in pieces on the sides of the bed and places to hang your clothes inside. And it turned out that it was perfect, and we were very comfortable in there. And so we said, while we were in Paris, we said, this is what we have to do in Ross's room. So this worked out great. We love it because you can plug your cell phone in the side, and there's plenty of storage. And then I love the curtains in here because, I love so many different textiles, and particularly a lot of Eastern things. So this is a Elizabeth Hamilton textile. And of course, I loved having the Fortuny in here. because Fortuny is one of my favorite fabrics. It's hard to beat a good Fortuny. And then the other thing that's so fun from being up here is it feels like you're in a tree house when you look outside, because we have these giant oak trees that are right in front of the house and really surround the house. And all of our guests love it. And one problem is all of our dogs love it too. And so they love to get on every bed in here and watch out the window and look for squirrels. And so I have to keep a lock on the outside to keep all the rooms closed, and because all the doors are very old. And so when our guests come, they usually go, now what is that hook lock on the door for? They think we're going to lock them in their room. But anyway, it's just to keep the dogs from, they've learned how to open doors. They're very clever. Speaking of, that couldn't have been better timing. This is, see what I mean? And most of our guests are very dog friendly and actually bring their dogs with them when they come. But every now and then somebody doesn't want any dog hair on their bed. Okay, Lulu, you ready to leave? Are you ready to leave? Let's go show them something else.
This is my older daughter's bedroom, and I'll be honest, I'm starting to come in here when somebody snores because I love this room. I feel like I'm sleeping on a sofa. So again, you're going to see more cushy walls. There's fabric on the walls. It's a fabulous Schumacher print, and simple sisal rug. Shelley helped me with this room as well. I've had this little chair for a long time, just got some blue and white buffalo check. I love old chairs, and you can always reupholster them and change the look of a room. A mirror that was in my grandmother's house. I actually just got this chest for the room because we did have a bungalow 5-1, which was fabulous, but it was a little bit modern. And I saw this and I thought it was the sweetest thing, and it could hold the world. It was a better size for the wall, better scale. So I got that at an antique dealer here in Dallas. So I'm always sort of on the hunt, looking for things. That's my hobby. You can see again for my older daughter, the canopy bed again. It's really cozy. This became a place of great comfort during COVID. This room has seen just a lot of usage during COVID and with the teenager. And she's actually lucky enough because she has a dressing room that's attached with this bedroom as well. And we kept a lot of the original elements like a 70s mirror, which I want to show you as well. So my older daughter got lucky in that this was the former master dressing room and bath, and she annexed it as part of her room. So it's this is all the original closets and hardware from the previous owners, and even the dressing table. We just put a new piece of marble on it, and you can see this fabulous mirror that's like a Hollywood style mirror. And I thought it has to be kept. It's just too good. And she loves it, and she has spent a lot of time here doing makeup and having fun. And my younger daughter now, I find, is in here quite a bit, coming in to take things or use the space or take t-shirts or things that were not taken to college. But just great drawer space. All these were built in, made for the previous owners. There's 4 large closets that go to the bathroom. And I told my daughter, unfortunately, you're only going to go downhill from here. So you're probably going to be, you're going to a college dorm, which is, smaller than the size of this room. But she's doing just fine, and everyone adapts to the space that they have.
Now we're in Hendrix's room, or the nursery. Though I say it's a nursery, we were just saying that it actually is a room that he can really grow into. The initial thought around this room is surrounded by the color of the wall. It's called a pate color, but I really wanted this kind of terracotta color to be the base, the foundation of the room, namely because I really wanted to use this color somewhere in the house. And it didn't feel too feminine, didn't feel too masculine. So it was a perfect palette to then create this room around. And the theme of it is really just started out as safari themed based off of paintings that are behind you. But what I really love in this room is the collection of antique samplers here. So what samplers used to be before there were phones and the computers and things, little girls would practice their alphabets or practice their sewing skills on what they would refer to as samplers. And these are the sewn things, so they would normally just have the ABCs or maybe a Bible verse or something of that. But what I think is really quite charming about them is that they'll have the date in which they're made, the name of the person who made it, and then the age. So this one is from 1882 at age 9, and her name was Sarah Miles. Things like that is quite sweet. And occasionally, which I think is really endearing, is that you will find a little bit of a spelling mistake, and it's because it's done by a child. But I just think that was quite nice to have Hendrix grow up around something like that. And then also he's practicing the ABCs, which is never a bad thing. My obsession with Bobbin continues with the crib, but I think the kind of most exciting thing about this room, and really the thing that spurred the design of it, was this collection of 19th century paintings of safari animals. So I have an amazing dealer, his name is Richard, who deals in all types of art, and he's absolutely fantastic. He's the loveliest person in the world, and he was able to find these from a private estate. And when I saw them, I fell in love with them. And he said, I don't want to split them up. I don't want to sell them individually. I want to sell them as a set. And when I saw them, this is years before I had Bubba, I just thought, oh my gosh, those would look perfect in a nursery. But I don't want to jinx it, so I bought them with the intention of selling them on, but secretly hoping, I think I put them in a price point that it was too high that anyone would actually buy them, so they wouldn't actually sell. So, and as soon as we found out that we were expecting Bubba, I immediately took them off from sale and knew that they were going to have the pride of place in his room. So it's funny because I'm sure we could simply Google what this animal is, but my husband and I just like to pretend, like make up different names for it, and Hendrix is starting to make up different names for it as well. But yeah, I just think this is such a nice room. We wanted to have a big couch because if you've been there with newborn days, you know you won't be getting a lot of sleep, and so we've spent many a nights sleeping here while he's trying to get some rest. But this is probably my favorite room because it's the room that my little boy went from a little baby to this rambunctious, willful toddler. So yeah, it really holds a special place in my heart.
Now let me take you to my oldest son's room. So he actually got to help decorate his room several years ago when he moved to this room and our twins moved to his old room. And he is very much into soldiers and the military, so that kind of was the driving force behind everything you see in here. I love this wallpaper. I'm sure you've seen it before. It's from Brunswick and Fee. It's paired. He actually just got this for Christmas last year, a piece of artwork, another one by our friend Kristen Sloan. He loves it. And a cute little story is he actually saw that piece of artwork on the flyer when she had her solo show here in Rock Hill, and he could not believe that she actually painted it. He thought it was a photograph, and he's loved it so much. So I got it for him for Christmas last year. In it, you can see we have lots of Toby mugs in here. He's a big Top Gun fan. He's also a Georgia Bulldog fan. My dad went to school there. My mother cross-stitched this. He's a golfer, so this is from the Wells Fargo Championship just this year. My husband put it in this little case for him.
This room started with the classic Latouche fabric. I love this. And then the photography. So Georgia Catherine picked images that she just really, really liked. Of course, it's fashion. She's into that. So I love the cleanliness of this. This is where she learned to surf when we went to Hawaii. So different ones have different meaning. And then the wallpaper gives a nice warmth and texture, a different layer for this room. And I love the geometric pattern too. Oversized modern lamps, and again remember, because it's not all traditional, there's some, but mix in some modern elements. And then these shades are in a contrasting fabric. I had someone here local make these tables in the bed, and of course that's clad in all the same pattern. Laura Park coverlet. I love the graphic color of this. And the concept for this room is also a pool cabana. So I wanted that area over there to feel like you're inside of a pool cabana. So that's why we have that great cornice. Next we have our son's room. Of course, this is very masculine. Paul had a lot of opinions about how he wanted this room to be. So we took it and ran with it. So the first thing we started with was the wallpaper on the ceiling. This is the classic Schumacher print. Looks like mountains, but it was very graphic. Paul wanted black and white with a touch of blue. And then we have the scale of the very tall bed. Of course, more of those Leontine linens. Love a classic monogram. Touches of some ecats here. And then the texture of this grass cloth clad nightstands. Love that. Articulating lights that could use to read and then reposition them. And then I placed mirrors on the left and the right to give the mood or feeling that there were windows there and open up this room a little bit more. And it gives a nice reflection. And then a classic, wool rug here on the floor. But yeah, this is all Paul. He picked everything, and I love it. It's a little bit different than the rest of the house, but it's also Paul's room. So it's great. It's fun. Love this piece, the photography. And then, of course, this piece by Natural Curiosities, Paris. He went there with school one time, and he loved that. So just keep it in mind, too. Children, they have their own personality, and let them have their say in it, too. This bonsai tree, Paul, it's preserved, but then I'm babysitting one in the kitchen for him as well. That's a real bonsai tree, and it's been fun to actually take care of.
Come along and follow me to my older boy's shared bedroom. This is William and George's little boy heaven. It is in a patriotic theme, and I love how boyish it feels. We incorporated the patriotic theme in a lot of elements in here. For instance, this flag was found on eBay for $13. It's a real American flag, and I had it framed, and I love how large it is and how it takes up the space. We had these custom twin beds made and upholstered by Joseph & Company in Houston. The red bedspreads have been with us for a long time. They were a Target find, and I just love them. They're easy to wash and very lightweight for our Texas weather. We also have a red and blue upholstered chair where we have read many bedtime books. And we used that same Polaris blue color throughout the space. One of the really cool things that we uncovered when we were renovating this house was the shiplap. There were a lot of layers of paint and wallpaper on top of this shiplap. We had no idea the shiplap even existed. We started scraping, and we uncovered this gorgeous original shiplap and decided that it was too pretty to not kind of revitalize it and keep the integrity of the original home. So we painted it this pretty white color and then accented it with the Polaris blue around these shutters and the trim on our original windows in this space. We've had this Louis Vuitton cup vintage poster in our family for a really long time. My husband actually found it at a poster store in Boston a million moons ago before we knew each other, and it's lived in different homes and different spaces, and when we moved into this space and needed something large to fill this spot, I knew it would be perfect. It kind of plays on the Americana theme. It's got the red and blue in it, and I love this poster and kind of the memories it has of living in New York with us and then coming to Austin with us, and it's just a really cool, large poster. My son is a budding guitarist, so we have a little electric guitar in the room.
Thanks for watching, and don't forget to visit homeworthy.com for exclusive content, shopping guides, and so much more.